Russ. We're going to be going on to chapter 16. We're getting close to the end of the book, but I'm going to give you a little recap of chapter 15 first. 15 is about the panel. In the beginning of the book, we talked about Anna's interviewing, a strange interview. She thought someone was listening in. They knew who she was. They knew a lot about her. It turns out that the local historian, Reggie, was part of a panel of people that specifically selected Anna for the house. They wanted somebody who she's an archivist. They wanted her, and they wanted someone to preserve the stories and get all this. They knew there was a lot of stories in the house. They wanted someone to get them out, and she's doing it. At the end of that chapter, she mentions her friend Ruby, and they had no idea who Ruby was. Never heard of her. So get comfy, get grounded, grab your favorite drink, and let's go on to the next chapter. Chapter 16. The poem. Anna slept well that night, her mind eased by Reggie's honesty about the people behind the curtain. Although she wasn't keen on having been investigated for character, she reconciled it because of her love for the estate. The next day, Anna and Ruby repurposed some beautiful antique picture frames. The Sumners had numerous pictures of horses, all carefully removed and filed away, each labeled with names like Rembrandt and Shadow. Despite Anna's disinterest in horses, she admired the frames. Anna decided to frame some of Jimmy's poems from his journal, believing they deserved display. She retyped the poems in Word and printed them on textured paper, giving new life to about a dozen of them. Jimmy's deep connection with nature and his mysterious muse was evident in his work. One poem in particular gave Anna pause. It was short and intriguing, hinting at something more. She read it to Ruby. Verdant pastures sway in the summer wind. In a ray of sunlight she emerges from the forest. Only the painted flowers compete with her beauty. Longing I am to dance with her, to hold her. Every part of my being trembles in anticipation. The songbirds serenade her, and she smiles. Wow, this one's a keeper, Ruby. What do you think? I think it is the most beautiful thing I've ever heard, Ruby replied tearfully. Jimmy was incredible. I wish his life had turned out better. He deserved more. Anna reread the poem and stared at it. Something seemed hidden in the words. Suddenly she had an epiphany. Aha! She screamed. Why didn't I notice this before? It is so obvious. I know who the girl is now, Ruby. Her name is in the poem. Anna wrote down the first letter of each line. V-I-O-L-E-T. She is Violet. She is Violet. Wow! Anna looked over at Ruby, who was crying again. What's the matter, my friend? Ruby wiped her eyes with a tissue. Nothing's wrong, Anna. I'm happy. This whole story is so moving. Later that day, Anna called Jimmy's boyhood friend, Brian Holloway. Brian confirmed that Jimmy had a girlfriend one summer who left him a note saying she was leaving town. Jimmy was devastated and went through therapy. Brian didn't know many details, but she seemed to vanish. Anna didn't share her latest discovery with Ruby, who had been quite emotional lately. She called Roger to help tie up another loose end. Roger scoured the archives and found an old newspaper article about a young girl named Violet Morgan, who became a missing person in August 1959. The article featured a black and white photo of a smiling girl with long hair and what looked like braces on her legs. It suggested she left town after a disagreement with her father. A deeper dive into the Morgan family revealed that Violet's father had been arrested for domestic violence several times and eventually abandoned his family. It made sense that Violet would want to escape from her father, but Anna wondered why she would leave Jimmy, who loved her deeply. Roger forwarded additional information to Anna about Violet. She had polio and lived with her mom and 3 younger siblings. She was a kind girl who helped cook meals for those in need at her church. Her mom was a seamstress who made and sold clothes. When Violet disappeared, her mom organized a search party, believing Violet wouldn't just leave, especially with her disability, making travel difficult. They searched the woods, dredged the ponds, and investigated Violet's father, but he had alibis. Despite this, he remained a person of interest. The search went cold, and Violet's name faded from conversation. Her mom died without knowing what happened, and Jimmy lost the love of his life. After dinner, Anna climbed into bed, lit a candle, and read Jimmy's journal again. It was a genuine love story, tragic in its brevity. What could have been never was. Anna drifted off to sleep, but woke to find the candle still burning. She tried to blow it out, but it stayed lit. She got closer, but it still burned. Suddenly, she heard someone speaking. Through the wavering light of the candle, she saw a young woman standing by her bed. Terrified, she tried to scream, but made no sound. She was dreaming again. The woman was whispering something hard to hear. Anna recognized her as Violet from the newspaper clipping, but without her leg braces. Violet was crying, and the image began to fade. "What do you want from me?" Anna asked. "What is it?" Violet's response was haunting. "Find me, Anna. You are the only one who can. Please, find me." Anna sat up, now fully awake. The candle had burned down to a stub. The spirit was gone, but Anna still spoke to her. "Oh my God, Violet, how am I ever going to find you?"